Hi, I'm Jennifer Smith here at MHA Foundation today with Shelli Creighton. Shelli is here representing Club Volleyball.
Yes,
Yes, this is your baby.
it is.
So tell us about the program. When did you start it?
Started it in 2010.
Wow,
Yeah, a long time ago.
15 years.
15 years. We had another club in town and we kind of went our ways and started Club Payson.
So how many players do you usually have?
Anywhere, well, COVID year we went down to around 40, but we started with about 30 and now we average about 82.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
We have 6 teams that travel, and then we have a fundamentals team that's going to start. We usually have about 10 to 15 in that
How many
group.
coaches?
We have 2 coaches per team.
Okay.
So we have 12. We used to run 1 coach per team, but I wanted the girls to have more one-on-one. So I hire out 2 coaches per team.
That is just phenomenal. So what is the level of play that your girls are at?
Our 8 teams, our 2 top teams play in the championship division. There's club championship, and then there's an open. And open is usually D1 athletes. Championships are level that girls go off to colleges, whether it's several of mine have gone off to universities too that played in championship. And then my littles, I call them, they're the youngest 4 teams play in a club.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And
fantastic.
yeah, the level of play is usually Snowflake's one of our big hitters and Sholo for just divisional play. But in the Valley, all the teams we play are about that level and higher. So,
Excellent. So what's your philosophy? Tell us about that.
well, that kind of encompasses a lot. My main thing when I started was I wanted it to be based on family and values and morals. So, we like to develop and let the girls know God, family, school, and then volleyball. And if those priorities start getting mixed up, then I'm not doing my job, because I want them to know how important family is, and I want them to know how important school is and school sports, and then volleyball.
I think this is so important, especially having students at the ages that you have them, having trustworthy figures in their lives that are really helping them to remember what the important things in life are.
Yeah.
And to remember the family value is important. And you know, we all have to balance so many different things. Even as adults, you know, we have to juggle work and we have to juggle civic responsibilities and all of these things. But when it comes down to it, those important things in our life, my dad used to say, keep the main thing the main thing.
Right.
And I think that it's really great that you guys are giving them another voice of camaraderie and authority at the same time with that coaching. So that's really important.
And if some of those things are lost too, what are we doing?
Right.
You know, are we making a difference? And we want to make the difference in teaching these kids perseverance. You know, then when things get tough, you have to persevere. And when those tournaments, you're playing all day and you're tired and you want to quit, they have to persevere.
Absolutely.
And they have to know that who they are on the court is who they should be in real life. Because we'll play teams that will, you know, throw tempers or yell at the coach or yell at each other. And I said, don't ever get to that point that you lower yourself to you thinking that that's just how it is. Because I never want us to become that. So if the other team's not willing to shake your hands, you still shake their hands, or you reach out and let them know, good game. So that's part of the integrity. And I want them to just keep those high values, and I think it's important. Excellent. Yeah.
So your girls were able to participate in the fitness and health education program.
They were.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts on that? How did it benefit the program, and what did the girls think? What were their takeaways?
Well, our first year we started was last year, and at first I thought this is going to be too much. You know, we're in the middle of basketball season, beach season has started, track is starting, and a lot of them will play school sports. Then they'll go to CrossFit, which is 2 times a week, and then they come to practice. And like last night, they had 3-hour beach practice, they had hour CrossFit, and then we had a 2-hour practice.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'll always bring them snacks and food. But they're realizing now that building that extra strength, in CrossFit, they build their core, their verticals, their speed, their agility, and they're starting to realize that they have to do something beyond just going to practice.
Yeah.
They need that strength building, and that's what CrossFit is doing to them. We play girls that are 6'2". My tallest player is 5'11".
Oh, wow.
So if they want to jump and get over that block, they need to have strength building
Absolutely.
and building their core.
Yeah.
And at first, I think they were a little overwhelmed, and now they're really loving it. And I have all my 18s team goes. There's 11 players. My 17s team, about 50% of them, and then 16s team, about 20%, because I needed my oldest team at the level they're playing. I wanted them to have the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For that kind of conditioning. So in addition to the physical conditioning, are there other intangibles that your girls are receiving from the fitness and health education program?
Yeah. Well, one thing is their health, and I know Matt and Molly over at Rim Country CrossFit, they really emphasize eating healthy, because when these girls start to burn their weight when they're working out, they're burning their muscle.
Yeah.
And that's going to just take away, unless they're fueling their bodies. And they really emphasize nutrition and how important it is to eat. And kids nowadays like Takis. They're their favorite.
Yes.
So just bringing in the protein that they're going to need, the fruit and all of that. Another intangible is, we really push perseverance, because that is one thing that we talk about all the time. They're exhausted. They're doing an AMRAP, which is a constant movement lifting for about 10, 12 minutes, and a lot of them want to quit.
Yeah.
The first time we went, they quit, and the other 20 girls came around them, and they were cheering them on, and there was some tears because they realized how much they were cared for through it. And CrossFit really develops that, I don't know quality in supporting
Grit,
each other.
Determination,
Yeah.
support, teamwork.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to give up, nowadays, especially for kids. They give up, or a parent's like, oh, it's okay to back out
Well,
of
in our
that.
shorts community, if it's not catching your attention in 3 seconds, it goes away. And
Yeah.
so that ability to stick through things when it becomes boring, or when it becomes hard, or when it becomes a struggle, that's something that is definitely needed. So there's a focus in that program, in the fitness and health education program, on healthcare careers. How are the girls receiving that information?
Spencer, who's a physical therapist in town, he's been coming, and I have like 3 girls that have already said, I think I want to be a physical therapist.
That's really great.
And a couple of them were, because some of them have asthma, and both of those have now wanted to be in the medical field, whether a nurse or a doctor, because they know that people physically, need that help.
Yeah.
And so, there's a lot of talk. And maybe I can go beyond and not just work for a family business, or come back and, do what's around here. They want to go beyond that.
That's wonderful. I
Yeah.
love that we can partner together, and that with the holistic viewpoint from both sides, that we can really give these girls not only their character qualities, but also a vision for their future.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Yeah. Looking beyond just, their high school years.
Absolutely.
Because high school years go so fast.
Oh my gosh, a blink.
Yeah.
And they're gone.
And then they realize, wow, I have the rest of my life. So
Yes.
what am I going to do now? Exactly. And we want them to have that, thought process beginning, even as a freshman.
Well, thank you so much for all that you do to prepare them for their lives.
Thanks.
And it's just always, of course, so fun to get to work with you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.